title, this is my 2022 pawn shop guitar rig, and today I'm just going to show off to you my new used Ampeg Gemini, as well as my Epiphone Riviera. I purchased both of these at a pawn shop, Prestige Pawn, in Weirton, West Virginia. This guitar and this amp are freaking amazing. And I just have to tell you a little bit more about the specs. Obviously, you just heard me playing these. I'm going to demo them some more so you can hear a little bit more of the guitar as well as the amp together specifically for the video. If you want to watch more of these amps and guitars on their own, you can check out some of the other videos on the channel. But this will be probably the first one. I just wanted to just to highlight here, this is a Japanese-made Epiphone Riviera, and this is an Ampeg Gemini I. One specifically, I believe, was made around the year 1965. All original tubes and parts and wiring and everything, which is good for collectors, not so good for players like me, because there are some issues with that, and we'll get into the issues here shortly. Traditionally, these Ampeg Gemini players, there's a lot of guys that love to play them. J.D. Simo, Isaac Short played a Gemini 2 in our previous live at Trash Band sessions. You should check that out. But these awesome players down here in Nashville love these amps because they get that unique kind of breakup, crunch on the low end and also the high end, but it stays kind of clean too. So blues players absolutely love these Geminis. But oh, by the way, if you haven't yet, make sure you click a thumbs up and subscribe to the video. It really does help the channel out a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything. That's nice, yeah. So there's off. See, it just gets that breakup so good on those lower, just when you clean it up too. Man, this guitar sounds great. Beefy. Cool. Now let's try both pickups together. Bumping that amp to hit that reverb tank. Sorry about that. But yeah, as you can hear, this guitar sounds really great for that blues rock, funk rock, just that kind of broken up kind of feel. But yeah, funky blues. That's a good way to describe it. That sounds great. Now, I'll just talk about this guitar here a little bit. So I walked into the pawn shop maybe a month or two ago, back in May, and I saw my buddy Josh at Prestige Pawn in Weirton, and Josh was like, "Vin, you got to check out this Epiphone over here. It's awesome." So I checked it out, and immediately I was like, wow, this guitar is great. But here it is up a little bit closer. Maybe you can appreciate that finish a little bit better. Sorry about my fingerprints, but the one thing that kind of caught me immediately on this Epiphone here is that the frets on the guitar, I don't know if you can see it, but it has fret nubs. And typically, this is something that just Gibson guitars have. So I was really kind of intrigued by that. I was like, why is that, you know, that's a high-end type of thing. Why is that on this Epiphone? So first things first, I was kind of confused by it. Second thing, if you look at the bridge here, if the camera focuses, this is like an ABR1 style bridge. And I've never actually seen this type of bridge on any Gibson guitar unless it was like a custom shop. So that was kind of confusing to me too. But you can see it's just, man, if it focuses. Here, I'll tap the phone to focus it. But yeah, you see it's focusing now. It just has that little screw in there. But yeah, that was kind of weird. And then I looked inside, it said Epiphone, it said Kalamazoo on the sticker. Kind of weird, never seen like a square label like that. It's kind of blue. And then it's kind of hard to see in here too, but the pots, they do have this little kind of pointy thing, which again, usually higher end guitars have that pointy thing, just like to tell you what number you're on. But again, it's hard to show on camera, but inside here, the pots, they're like that freaking big. They're huge, they're like shielded pots. So this guitar is kind of heavy. I'd probably say it's probably around 7 or 8 pounds, but yeah, really interesting guitar. Again, and I'll pull out the case here so you can see what the case looks like too. So I don't know about you, but I've never seen an Epiphone come in a Gibson case. I've never really seen a Gibson case like this either with red on the inside, but this is the case that came in, and Josh at the pawn shop, he said this is the case that this guitar came with. So, and what I can say is this guitar is just as good, if not better, than any of the 335 style guitars that Gibson's putting out today, and I swear my life on it. This thing is freaking amazing. You know, I talked to Josh. I said, Josh, I think I got to go home with the guitar today. I was like, what can you do for the guitar? And he said $475. I said, sold. So basically, I got a guitar that I think is just as good as a 335 for under $500. Pretty freaking amazing. So pawn shop treasure number one right here, this Epiphone Riviera. I believe it's a 1980s Japanese made. I did some research. It said it was probably made in the Matsumoku factory based off of, you know, the stylings on these guitars as well as the case that it came in. So the moral of the story is just the years on these things are different because there's certain years of Japanese Epiphones that have, you know, Gibson, like, you know, really good pickups. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up all the questions or everything that I wanted to talk about on this guitar. We'll do some more sound tests and demos for you to hear it, but if you have any questions about it, leave them down in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. But yeah, again, we'll do another once over so you can check out this awesome guitar. Epiphone Riviera. And I will say, this thing came set up perfectly. I didn't take it to get set up or tweak it at all, really. It just plays great, has a nice low action. The neck is relatively shaped, just a little bit of relief. Maybe we could see those. Oh yeah, we could see the pots in there a little bit. You see how big those freaking pots are? They're huge. Like I said, they're like around that big. It's crazy. The only thing, there was one scratch on the guitar right there, which is not too bad. I'm gonna put some more scratches in it. Binding was a little bit discolored, which is why I thought like this guitar is old. It's definitely old, just based off of just the way it looks. Other than that, really, really like this guitar. This thing's amazing. I've used it on plenty of songs so far. You might have actually heard them if you've been following the channel. All right, so we talked about this guitar a little bit. We did a sound test. Now let's mess around with this amp and see what kind of cool tones and effects we can get with it. We'll turn on the tremolo and then also the reverb. Now let's listen to that. sounds for days. But you can listen to the full song called Ombre on the channel now. There's 2 versions. You can check those out. I'll link them down in the description. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a demo of the amp. Now that we talked about the good, let's talk about the bad and the ugly. This isn't gig ready. This guitar, I could take this and play it for a 4-hour set down on Broadway in Nashville or wherever. This amplifier, if I would try to do that, I would probably kill myself. First things first, the thing is not grounded. The plug, I need to have that replaced and switch it to a 3-prong plug, just so I'm not getting zapped anytime I touch, like for example that outlet. Just with having this guitar, I made sure to wear some sneakers with some nice rubber soles while doing this video in case I would accidentally touch this or something else that's plugged in, because I would get a nice shock if I didn't. So that's the first thing that's bad about this amplifier. Now let's talk about the ugly. The amplifier, because it is all original parts, it could use a nice recap job. And also the tubes, I think the tubes are okay, but the amp does lack a lot of power. This thing is not putting out a lot of volume, which is fine for like home studio use with recording and everything, which is what I did very carefully, mind you. But in a live setting, unless you have a nice, pretty decent sized PA system, this isn't alone going to be able to keep up with the drummer and a bass player. It would just get lost just because it's just not putting out enough volume. And that's as loud as it can go. It has treble and bass, so I like the treble all the way down. Not really much going on there, and then all the way up. Sounds pretty good, but again, I think that pot or something could be cleaned or something to go on with it, because it's not really giving you much of a range. I'm not sure if that's characteristic of the amp. And you can hear that too. It's like fighting with me. It's like volume or something's going on with the amp too. I could have it. We could take a look over it to see what's going on. And then the bass here. The bass does. Did you hear that? It was doing some sort of sub-octave thing for a second, which was kind of cool. Definitely not right and not what's supposed to do, but there could be something going wrong with the wiring that caused it to do that, to make it kind of cool, but that's good. So that's more of the bad here. The tremolo, it is a little bit weak. It loses power. So it's something that needs to be looked over here. So I'll turn that off. So that, yeah. No tremolo, and the amp is significantly louder. Nice drippy sound. Yeah, reverb is cool too. It kind of overdrives with the amp to... So take a look at these inputs. So we have the speed and intensity for the tremolo, volume, treble, which is actually does this cool like super treble thing. It clicks into that. And I'll show you more of that in a minute, but that's the only knob that has that click there. The rest of them, they go up all the way up, but they don't click into that spot. Only the treble does. But accordion and guitar, channel 1, and then channel 2. Unfortunately, more of the bad with this amp. Channel 2 is not okay. I think there's a tube that's going bad on this side because whenever I plug it in, it gets a weird oscillating sound. So we won't be doing the demo of the tube channel. That's this channel 2, 1, 2, 3 today. Reverb here, and then the original foot switch it came with. Vibrato and echo, which would be the spring reverb sound. Let's take a little peek in the back of the Ampeg here. So first, let's start with the speaker. A 12-inch Ampeg custom designed speaker made in the USA. Speaker's pretty good sounding. I like the way it sounds. Up here into the tube section, we have Ampeg branded tubes, which leads me to believe these are original, because who the heck would replace the Ampeg specific tubes for an Ampeg amp? This thing's been relatively unplayed, I think, for the past, almost 60 years, which is great for me because I basically get a new amplifier. Well, new, as you can see, it's pretty dirty still too. I did my best to clean a lot of the dirt out, but still, it's just hard to get it out with these grooves. But yeah, the finish, or the what do you call it, the Tolex on the amp is in pretty good condition. A little bit of pitting and stuff on the front panel, but that's just normal with any amplifier. This thing was probably sitting in a garage or an attic with moisture for years and years. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Like I said, pretty overall really good condition for its age and everything. And again, for the price I paid, $200. Pretty amazing. Gem stands for gems. When you look at pawn shops, every once in a while you come across a nice little original gem like this. But again, I'm not too concerned with how it looks because it sounds absolutely fantastic. Yeah, here's that treble area clicked into position. That's about all the time we got for today. Make sure you check out more of the videos on the channel, like and subscribe. There's more of this amp on the channel and more of this guitar to come. Again, my buddy Isaac from the Weird Sisters, he has a Gemini II, which is the same as this one, but with a 15-inch speaker. This one has a 12-inch speaker in it. Yeah, you can check out our Live at Trash Band session. He plays this, he's doing the lead, and he gets some really cool sounds with it. But yeah, there'll be more to come on this amp. I'm gonna get it fixed up. But anyway, again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Oh, and one more thing I want to share with you. On our website, we have Play That Rock and Roll, the latest full-length album by the Semi-Supervillains. This album I recorded here in the home studio with the band, Johnny, myself, Isaac, Logan, also James Varner, another friend who's a drummer here, local to Nashville. We did all the songs here. A lot of the songs I played in the video today were taken from bits and pieces of these songs on the record, so if you like it, check it out. iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can stream it in the world for free on all those things. And then if you want to buy one of these CDs, they're on sale on our website, www.semisupervillains.com. I'll link that down in the description too, but these are going on sale for $10 plus shipping. For those of you who have already purchased it, thank you very much. We appreciate that. We're getting another album together here, and we'll have it released early 2023. We'll be doing vinyl records for the new album, but make sure you subscribe to the channel for more info on that and for more guitar and amp goodness. And I promise I will get this thing fixed so it doesn't kill me.